history of kabuki. And so towards that, I studied the academic documentary side of things, and I also studied Japanese classical dance, which comes from kabuki, and which you'll be seeing, and also a style of music called kiyomoto, which you'll be hearing. My dissertation didn't go very fast. I actually intend to be finishing that any day. Now, this is one of my big jokes, you know, and it always got a big, I don't know why, but it always got a big response out of all these teachers. I don't know, maybe there are a few ABDs out there somewhere. But I actually am going to try to finish my dissertation in the next year or so. Now, in any case, so in the meantime, I got a name in Japanese dance, a professional name, and a professional name in kiyomoto music. And so I actually perform on the kabuki stage as a kabuki singer and in dance recitals. Now, today is a kind of exciting occasion because, as you will have been told, this is probably the final year of this program. I know that it's has a I don't know if a good reputation, but a big reputation in America, and it's been my privilege to be a part of this from the very beginning. And this is now the 12th year of an 8-year program. So this is really kind of a big event today. Now, I also want to take this opportunity to set you straight on culture and education in Japan. And you may have noticed that all the other of your presentations are by professional educators and members of the educational ministry and government officials and things. And then suddenly, when it comes to the traditional arts, you got these two ringers. You have, Don Kenny, who's my senpai, is my predecessor in all this stuff, and you have me. And there's a very good reason for this. I know you're coming here and think, oh, Japan, they love culture. Japan, they love nature. Japan is such a wonderful, wonderful educational system. And of course, this whole program is here to tell you exactly that. But I want to give a kind of correction to this because I think as Americans, we all have a kind of culture complex. We basically think that we're all a bunch of hicks. And we do what we can with our symphonies and our museums. We do what we can in our classrooms, but it's nothing compared to this incredible tradition in Japan. But in fact, what Don and I are doing is something that is not a part of real Japanese culture, everyday culture. And it's not a part of the educational system. So if you couldn't have a genuine official person from the Ministry of Education and Science, it's because they don't teach it. They don't teach it. So and I'll talk a little bit about why this is so. So when you go out to the schools, how many of you are music teachers? We always have a lot of music teachers. How many of you teach drama? You go out there and you think, oh, we want some of your Japanese culture. And you'll find that the teachers there don't know nothing about it. Or their idea of what Japanese music is a little different from yours. Okay? So, now, the other thing is, I got some really interesting statistics And this is something that you would have gotten in an OECD report. Japan's public spending on education is the lowest among advanced nations. Public spending is the lowest of 28 nations. So you think, well, it's because there's so much private spending. And so if you add private spending on education, it becomes the, let's see, it ranks 20th among 26 nations. So I'm not saying this to badmouth. Well, I am saying it to badmouth it. But what the education ministry talks a good game. And they give an impression that Japan is doing things for its culture and doing things for its education. So, which it may not be doing in terms of real money. So when you go out to those schools and you think, oh, isn't it great they have all this funding and support? They don't. They have the same or less financial support as you do in all your schools. And so I want you to keep that in mind as you see what it is that they're actually doing with these limited resources. And not go in and say, isn't it wonderful that they have schools where, you don't have to have metal detectors and there are no guns. That's true, but there's something a little bit different going on. And that's the sermon for our last presentation. Now, what I'm going to do is, today's presentation is going to move toward an actual performance of Japanese classical dance. And this is the dance called Omatsuri, or the festival. And it'll be together with live music and a dance. Now, first I want to give you an idea of the history of Japanese traditional performance. And this deals with several different periods. And everything changes in 1868, which is the Meiji Restoration. But before that, we have three key periods for this theater. The Heian period, the Muromachi period, and the Edo period. So first, the Heian period. Now, the Heian period is a time of courtly culture. It's a time when Chinese culture imported to Japan was perfected. And this is Chinese culture in the form of architecture, in the form of law, in the form of language, and all kinds of things. But in the Heian period, it also meant that this Chinese culture was melded into a native Japanese culture as well. So this is the time of the Tale of Genji. It's time of people, it's a time when conventions of classical Japanese poetry were created. And these are conventions that extend all the way up until 1868. And even today are used